My dear students, I hope you all are well by the grace of the Almighty. In the previous classes, we have learned noun, pronoun, adjective. Now we are going to learn verb. What is verb? A verb is a word which describes something about a person or thing. For example, he writes a letter. Here, write is verb. In another way, a verb is a word which describes doing something, being something, and having something. A verb is a word which describes doing something, being something, and having something. For example, he writes a letter. Having something. Here, writes, is, have are verbs because these word write describes doing something, and is describes being something, being and have themselves having something. So these words are called verbs. Verb is mainly of two kinds. Finite verb non-finite verb. Verb is mainly of two kinds. Finite verb, non-finite verb. Finite verb, the verb which completes a sentence and is affected or limited by the person and number of the subject and changes its forms according to tenses is called a finite verb. The verb which completes a sentence and is affected or limited by the person and number of the subject and changes its forms according to tenses is called a finite verb. He writes a letter, he goes to school. Here write and goes, finite verb. What is non-finite verb? The verb which does not complete a sentence and is not affected by the person and number of the subject and does not change its forms according to tenses is called non-finite verb. He wants to buy a pen. Here wants main verb, but buy. This verb does not complete the sentence and it is not affected by the personal number of the subject he. It does not depend on the tense. That is, it does not change its forms according to tense. So this is non-finite verb. Principal finite verb is also divided into two kinds: principal verb, main verb, auxiliary verb, helping verb. Writes main verb, principal verb, auxiliary verb. Principal verb, the verb which is used independently without help from any other verb is called main verb or principal verb. Here write. This verb completes the sentence and it does not require any help from any other verb. So this is called main verb. Auxiliary verb or helping verb. Auxiliary verb, what is auxiliary verb? The verb which is used only to form a tense, or which is used only to help the main verb or principal verb to form a tense, mood or voice is called auxiliary verb. I am writing a letter. Here this verb is helping the verb write to form tense. He was killed by the man. Here, he was killed by the man. Here, this verb helps to form voice. So this is also auxiliary verb. May you live long. May here helps the main verb to form imperative mood to express wish. So these verbs are called auxiliary verbs. Main verb is also divided into two kinds: transitive verb, intransitive verb. Transitive verb, the verb which has an object or objects, is called a transitive verb. He helps the boy. I gave him a book. He helps the boy. The boy is object and help verb. So this is transitive verb. This also transitive verb. I gave him a book. This is object, this is a double objects. Two objects here. So this is also transitive verb. But intransitive verb, the verb which has no object is called intransitive verb. He cannot see birds fly in the sky. He is running. Here run, see, fly. These verbs have no objects. So these verbs are intransitive verb. Thus we find that main verb is of two kinds: transitive verb, intransitive verb. Transitive verb, the verb which has an object or objects is called a transitive verb. The verb which has no object is called an intransitive verb. some other verbs. Now we will learn some other verbs. Quasi-passive verb. The verb which is active in form but passive in sense is called quasi-passive verb. Rise, shall, see. Here we find that shall, this verb, s is added to this present form of shall, that is the added to this verb. This happens only in the active voice. That is, this verb is active in form, but rice itself cannot sell. Rice is sold. We sell rice, but rice does not sell. So this gives passive meaning. That is passive in meaning. So this verb is called quasi-passive verb. He killed himself. Here he subject, this is object. The person who killed is he, and the person who was killed is the same person himself. That is the same person he. Thus, the subject of the verb and object of the verb are the same person. And this object is reflexive pronoun. This kind of verb, that is killed here, reflexive verb. From the example, now you can understand what is reflexive verb. A reflexive verb is the verb whose subject and object refer to the same person. The object of the reflexive verb is reflexive pronoun. here in the example, we see that we made him here object. That is, this verb has object, so this is transitive verb. We here see that we made him. This cannot make the sense complete. We made this verb cannot make the sense complete, though it has an object. Though it has an object, it requires some other word, captain. That is called complement, to make the sense complete. That is to say, complete the sense. Here, this transitive verb is called factitive verb. So, we can now define factitive verb. The transitive verb, which requires some other word or words besides its object to make the sense complete. That is, to complete the sense, is called a factitive verb. Make, call, elect, select, name, etc. These are called factitive verbs. Still there are more verbs to discuss, but now I declare the end of the class. You yourself will try to know these verbs by reading books. I have discussed important verbs that you will need. Okay, with the best of all of you.